thanks for tuning in. I so appreciate you. Today we are going to talk about the number one step you can take to improving your health during the holidays. My name is Dr. Jeanette DeWitt. I am a doctor of physical therapy and a Health Esteem coach. What I do is I help build people's walls of health. I look at their physical, I look at their relational, we look at their financial, and we look at the spiritual wall. These are all four walls of health. And one of the biggest things that you can do to improve your health is, I don't have a drum roll, but I am a percussionist, so we'll drum roll right now, is drink water. I know it sounds so simplistic, but your body is made up of 60 to 70% water. And at just 1% or 2% of a deficit in your water intake can make you feel sluggish, can make your brain not be able to concentrate, can make you lose the ability to focus on what you need to do for the day. It can also make you tired. It can lead to muscle cramping and tightness, stiffness. A lot of problems are created by the lack of water in your body. During the holiday season, it is especially important to drink water. The reason is because sometimes we're traveling, we don't have access to water readily available. So we need to make sure that we have a water bottle with us as we're traveling so we can sip on our water and stay hydrated so we don't get headaches when we're driving, so we don't lose concentration or get a little sleepy when we're traveling. That is one way to combat those signs and symptoms of dehydration. The other thing that might be happening during the holidays is we might not be getting as much sleep. So what happens when we don't get enough sleep? We can also get headaches. We can also munch on foods thinking that we're hungry when really we're sleep deprived, but our brain is trying to get more energy, so it's making us hungrier. And then sometimes those hunger pains are really dehydration. So the lack of sleep, the hunger pains that we're getting to try and get more energy, coupled with dehydration, makes us eat more when really we should be drinking more water. The other thing that we can be doing is eating foods that we're not normally used to eating. So we might have foods that are higher in salt. We might have foods that are higher in sugar. If we're not drinking water to combat that, then we get a higher sodium content in our bloodstream. We get changes in our glucose and our sugar levels from high sugary foods or more processed foods or lots of sweets at this time of year. Water can help combat that because if you are dehydrated, you might be thinking you're hungry. I touched on that a little bit before, but really you're thirsty. And so if you drink more, you might feel a little bit more full. You might be less likely to eat some of those unhealthier options for food. So drinking water does a lot for you in conjunction with a healthy diet, in conjunction with getting enough sleep, in conjunction with not overscheduling your schedule so that you're feeling so stressed out that you can't sleep and unwind at night. All of these things can contribute, but one of the biggest tips that you can do to maintain your health or improve your health during the holiday season is to make sure you're drinking water. Now, I know a lot of people might be thinking, water's boring. Well, you can jazz it up a little bit. Kind of infuse some fresh fruit into it. Put some frozen strawberries in your water. Put some frozen raspberries in your water. Give it a little flavor. I love to put essential oils in my water. I use wild orange or lemon. Not every essential oil is equal, so you need to make sure you're using a high quality essential oil that you can actually internally digest and take. Not all of them are equal. Some of them contain really bad synthetics. So I don't recommend doing that. You got to do your homework or reach out to me and I will advise you on that. But you can flavor your water without adding sugar, without adding salt, so that you can ingest and want to consume more water. Number one tip is drink more water. And if you're drinking alcohol, you might drink a little bit more during this festive time. And drinking a glass of wine isn't a bad thing. Having a beer with some friends isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't like to always say good or bad with food. You have healthier options. You have unhealthier options. But water can slow that down. Just like water can slow down the overconsumption of food, it can also slow down the overconsumption of alcohol. So if you're having a drink and you're socializing, before you take your next drink, try and get 8 ounces of water. Then if you want another cocktail, you can have another cocktail, but make sure you're alternating between an alcoholic beverage, water, an alcoholic beverage, water, and make sure you're consuming some food along with that too, so that you're pacing yourself. Water does your body good, and water can solve a lot of those symptoms and signs of fatigue and lack of focus that you might be experiencing during this time. I hope that you find this helpful. If you have questions, please go ahead and reach out to me. You can also check out my private Facebook group, which is totally free, called The Real Healthy You. You is spelled with the letter U, not Y-O-U. Check out The Real Healthy You, and you're going to get lots of tips on different health habits and how to build those 4 walls of health, which are your physical wall, which is your food, your water intake, your exercise, we'll also talk about your relational wall, your spiritual wall, and your financial wall. I'm not an expert in all those areas, so I defer to some other experts when I talk about that stuff that I'm not an expert in. But one of the things that I can do is teach you how to make sure you have a well-balanced health house built on those 4 walls of health. I wish you the best day. I wish you a happy new year as we're rounding out of 2022 and heading into 2023. And this week, focus on drinking that water. Thanks a lot.